Okay, chickadees, today on Mojo Mysticism, we're going to talk about how we get ready for abundance and prosperity. And we're going to talk a little bit about what all that means and what things that we need to do are to move us towards that bright future that we're promised in 2026. So come on in and join us. Hey chickadees, Molly here. Before we get started today, I wanted to let you know that our website is now up and live. We are live. It's molly-jones.com. You can see it here on the screen. You can sign up for an annual card reading for 2026. That card reading is a 13 card reading. You get one card that sets the theme for the year and then another card for every single month of the year. The other thing we have out there is a clarity call if you're interested in getting some guidance and bouncing some things off of me. I'm happy to listen and offer my guidance to help you with whatever situation you have. And we've got a little description about what that entails as well. You can get that with an optional card pull as well if you like, and that could be anywhere from a 1 to 3 card pull for that, so as an add-on to that service. The other thing we have is the beginning of our book portal for Shift is out there. If you go under the books section, you will see Shift, and you can sign up for announcements about Shift. That will give you early access to lots of goodies that we're going to be providing over the course of the next 6 months or so while the book is being finished up and published. So but we will keep you apprised of that if you sign up to get that information. So all right, without further ado, back to your regularly scheduled Mojo Mysticism episode. Hello, chickadees, and welcome into today's episode of Mojo Mysticism. By way of reminder, we are pulling a 4-card pull out of the Oracle, or the Sisterhood of Seers Oracle. This is an Oracle deck by Athena Laws with artwork by Ana Santos. And let's recap where we've been and talk about where we're going. So, Day 1 was a card 1 was the possible outcome. So this is kind of in a little bit of a reverse order from what some of the previous and recent multi-card readings have been for us. So we're starting with what the possible outcome is. And then we're going to go to we went to card 2 already. And card 2 is, what is it that we need to know? And then card 3 is, what is the main influence that can help us get to that possible outcome? And card 4, which will be tomorrow, because today is card 3. So tomorrow, card 4 is, what should I do for the best result? So how do I maximize my chances of seeing that possible outcome? So let's talk about card 1, which was 2 days ago. That card that came out for us was card number 18. This is Many Paths to a Bright Future. Now, 18 is a 9 in numerology, for those of you interested in that. And this card was telling us that our future, we can get there if we just follow the nudges, essentially. That's what it's talking about. And that future, the way that future looks bright is because it is full of love and abundance and happiness for us. So we have the opportunity to just say, okay, so our future is looking really bright and 2026 is looking really, really good for us. And we just listen for the nudges and we follow them. So that was card 1. And then card 2, which was yesterday, is card number 13. So that's a 4 in numerology. This card was a good partnership. And we talked a lot yesterday about what a good partnership means. It's not just a good romantic partnership, although that is critically important. It is also those closest friendships and relationships in our life, and how forming good partnerships that are mutually beneficial to both parties that are involved actually help us not only experience the love that we need in our relationships, but they cheer us on along our path. And they are folks that can help support us while we're on that path to that brighter future. So surrounding yourself with, the word that's coming up is a posse of people that that are energetically aligned, maybe spiritually aligned, or at least, compassionate and loving in a similar way to you, that are urging you on, is important. The other side of this is that we have the invitation to maybe move away from some relationships where they've maybe run their course and perhaps the energy is no longer aligned, or perhaps you're on very different paths and it's just time for those relationships to maybe not end, but maybe transform into another type of relationship. And in some cases, it may be time for them to end altogether. Use your discernment and use your intuition. What we are not doing here is a scorched earth policy. Like, that is never what we should do, although sometimes we probably feel like it. What we're being asked to do is just really be careful with our energy, right? Let our energy be used in a way that feeds us and others. So these good partnerships are reciprocal in whatever way works best for you, and they are always uplifting. So be discerning about the relationships in your life, develop the ones and invest your energy in the ones that where you have alignment and reciprocity, and maybe consider backing up a little bit on those where you don't. So it's that simple. So, and honestly, where you're not aligned with that other person anyway, they're probably waiting for you to back up. So, it's okay. And it doesn't mean that it's forever, because we change constantly. So sometimes it could be, though, and sometimes it might need to be. So again, use your intuition and your discernment. This is the group of people that's going to help support you as you move into that bright future. So choose your partners wisely. And that reminds me, when I do training for design build, I do a lot of training in design build, which is, for those of you not familiar with the construction industry, that is a way in which owners and architects, engineers, and contractors contractually bind themselves so that there is one contract between an owner and then a design builder. And that design builder encompasses all of the architecture, engineering, and construction trades within that one contract. When we teach that, there is one very significant point, and that is you choose your partners wisely on that design build team. So you're choosing your architects and engineers that you're working with wisely. Architects and engineers are choosing their contractors wisely. You're choosing your subcontractors wisely. You're choosing your partners wisely. And the one thing we always want people to avoid is what we call in design build a forced marriage, right? Where a owner will hire an architect and then will later on hire a contractor and force them into a design build partnership that they never agreed to. So we don't want that in our lives. We know what that does in our lives. It's very tumultuous and very difficult and challenging. So we don't want that in our inner circle. And so this card is just reminding us to be very discerning about what we're doing there. So, all right. So let's see what our guides have for us today. So if you'll recall, the good partnership was, what do I need to know? And what I need to know is I need good partnerships in my life, because the possible outcome, if I do these things, is a bright future with love and abundance and joy and happiness and all the things that I really truly want in my life, right? And I'm speaking for all of you, like you're here. But that's usually what we want. Very few of us want chaos. There's some of us, but very few of us are like, you know what? I think I'm going to have a healthy dose of chaos for the next 5 years. And let's just add a side dish of, maybe some grief and sadness, and just, let's just make it completely chaotic. There are some people that do that intentionally, but most all of us, and even those people that do it intentionally, once they realize what they're doing, they realize they can make a choice. They can exhibit agency and sovereignty over themselves and say, I don't want that anymore. What I really want is happiness. And at the end of the day, that's really all we all want. So So that was cards 1 and 2. And so today, what is the main influence? So this is what is going to set us up for that possible outcome through the use of good partnerships. So let's just see what they've got for us. All right. Oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't even get through the first shuffle and that just basically jumped out of the deck at me. So, all right. Oh my gosh. Okay. So again, the card is what is the main influence? And this card is card 16, which is a 7. And this is abundance and prosperity. So that's interesting. 18, 13, and 16 are the cards. And I'm looking down here because I've got them lined up to look at them. So this is very interesting. Okay. So some of the keywords coming around abundance and prosperity are looking at releasing from ourselves, like releasing from our life to be able to make room for abundance and prosperity. What do I mean by this? What I mean is if you haven't gone through and cleaned up, whatever that means for you, tidying up your house, literally your house. Like if you could see my desk right now, I probably have 26 decks of Oracle cards sitting on this desk. And then I have sketchbook. I'm confessing. We've gone into confessional time now, just in case you didn't pick up on that. I have compass and drawing tools because I'm drawing sacred geometry because my guide said, you're going to draw sacred geometry. So I'm like, okay, let's go figure this out. I have notebooks. I mean, it's kind of a mess. So we'll just use my desk as the example because I clearly am being given the opportunity to tidy this up a little bit. But this is what we're talking about. Tidying up your environment, both outside and inside, to allow room. Here's the truth about the universe. It abhors a vacuum. And so when we tidy up and when we release things out of our life, right? So, because that's part of tidying up. Usually for me, when I need to tidy up, it's because I got too much stuff going on. So when I release some of that, it makes a vacuum in my life, and the universe loves a vacuum and it moves to fill it. So this is what we're talking about here when we're talking about releasing and then actually being able to receive. Now, that is our physical environment, right? So it's our closets, right? It's our junk drawers, it's our homes, it's our cars, it's our office places, it's all of that. And clearly I have some work to do here because I have a little bit of chaos going on with this desk right now. And it's also the inner work. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about today because I have been kind of dancing around the topic of dealing with our energy. And when we're moving into abundance and prosperity and we want to cultivate more abundance and prosperity, abundance is not always, and it's actually not often financial. It is financial and it can manifest financially. What we're talking about when we talk about abundance, it is abundance in all forms. So when we talked about the opportunity or the possible outcome being a brighter future, and we talked about that being abundant, financially abundant, but it's also abundant with happiness and love and people that we care about and all of those things. So abundance comes in all different types of forms. Okay? For me, abundance is stillness. It's having the ability to be still inside. That is a very abundant thing to do. It's also not easy to do in our world today and the way our culture is set up. But that is abundance. Do I have time to engage in the things that I'm being called to do, like sacred geometry that has its own pile right there? So, that's abundance to me, is to have the ability to do those things and the ability to engage in my life in a way that is uplifting and fun, right? So abundance in all things. Okay, so when we're talking about that on the inside, right, it starts inside. When we're talking about abundance of stillness, especially, or anything, like if you want chaos out of your life, or if you know, whatever it is that's coming up for you that might be tied to a negative emotion, we're talking about getting that out and releasing that so that there is room, because again, the universe abhors a vacuum, so the good things can come in. And I've had this, I think I call it a push and a pull at the same time. My guides have been very clear with me about moving in a way in the world right now, especially between now and the first of the year, as I'm doing the self-assessment and all the things that we've been talking about on this channel for the last couple of weeks, plus moving in a way that cleans up my energetic house. What do I mean by that? Clearing my chakras, right? Am I doing a clearing technique? Am I doing it every morning and every evening? Am I working on my spiritual development? Am I carving out time, because sometimes that's what it takes, to be able to do these things to clean up my energy and to keep my energy clean? When my energy is clean, it is so much easier for all of the abundance and prosperity that I'm calling in to find me. I've cleaned up my outward energetic house, or my outward environment. I clean up my inside too, my inward environment and my soul, and I am able to receive. Okay, so make sure you're not just going through a Swedish death clean of your house, although that's fun. I like it. It scares the hell out of Tina, because she's like, oh my God, she's gonna just pile everything up at the curb and say, take what you want. You know, I've got 3 pairs of panties, I'm good. So, which, you know, that's a fair fear that she has, because I do have a tendency to just like wipe the slate clean and start over from time to time, or I want to. I don't actually do it, but I want to. What we're talking about is a strategic cleaning, making room, keeping the things that are important to you, cleaning up the outside, cleaning up the inside, and making room for abundance and prosperity. It's huge, and it makes a huge difference in our world, and it helps us shift our perception. And we know that when we shift our perception, everything looks different to us. We literally can move to a different timeline and experience our world in a very, very different way. And that is so much fun. So, all right, so we're talking about that. We're talking about releasing so that we can receive more. We're also talking about getting ourselves ready, leveling ourselves up, or at least preparing the field of play so that we can level up. Sometimes it's just the preparation, and then we get, if we're, you know, just looking at these cards, we prepare the field, we attract and we build good partnerships. And we talked about that yesterday, about to have good partnerships, you need to become a good partner. So that's also part of like cleaning up your internal energy house. So we can get the field prepared, right, during the abundance and prosperity period where we're getting ready for what's coming. And then when that group gets formed, those good partnerships, your posse, they can be the spark that just jettisons you. And that's what good partnerships do. They mirror to you what you need to see so that you can become the best version of yourself. Sometimes that mirroring is a lot of fun, and sometimes it can be a little bit challenging. So know that the challenges are part of this deal, right? But they are coming from people who always have your highest and best good in mind and are in reciprocating, loving relationships with you. So that is part of it, is leveling up. And also making sure that we're doing all of this from a place of authenticity, where we are seeing this through the eyes of spirit, okay? We're not going to go through, you know, the energetic cleaning of the inside and the cleaning of the outside just so that we can get more money. Like, if that's your motivation, that's fine. That's not what I'm talking about here. I am talking about through the eyes of spirit, I want to become, and I am committed to becoming the being that I am. And so let me rephrase that for you. And I'm going to use words from Shift. I'm committed to remembering. I am committed to re-remembering who I really am. And in order for me to do that, there are some controls and some boundaries that I'm going to put in place. I'm going to release things that I don't need so that I can receive that information that helps me re-remember who I freaking am. Do you hear me? I'm going to let everything go that does not help point me in the direction of re-remembering who I am as a divine being. Write it on your mirror with some lipstick if you want, and write it down in your notebooks, put it on a post-it note, carry it around you, I don't care, tattoo it on your forehead, whatever you've got to do to understand that we are doing this work so that we can remember who we really are. That's the whole point. Everything else falls in place. Every single other thing falls in place when we put ourselves in a position and dedicate ourselves to really working on re-remembering. So, chickadees, that's it for today. I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous day doing your cleaning, your releasing, your preparing, your leveling up, your kind of like preparing the soil for it to be, planted with all the things that are going to help you remember who you are. And I will see you here tomorrow on Mojo Mysticism. I love you. Hit subscribe, and then go check out the website. And we will see you next time. I did put on the website a contact form. So let me just say one quick thing. If you are not finding a time that works for you for the card, if you want an Oracle card pull for 2026, or if you want a clarity call with me and you're not seeing a time that works for you, just reach out to me. Just use the contact information that should be up tomorrow and reach out to me so that we can get a time that works. I just, went in and blocked out times when I know I can be committed to this. And so, but I do have some other availability. It's just not as consistent. So reach out to me and we'll see what we can do to get you taken care of. All right, chickadees, I love you. Mwah. Until we see again.